Guys, today we are going to take a look at the 4 new amps that came with firmware 1.3.74. Quality over quantity, guys. These new amps are some of the best models in the Tone Master Pro lineup, seriously. Let's check them out. Fender 62 Princeton. The brown face Princeton represented a big change for the Princeton line, and many of these changes remained through the black face and silver face years. The brown face was a 15-watt amp with something called bias wiggle tremolo. Additionally, it was fitted with a larger 10-inch speaker and was the first fixed bias Princeton. Controls are volume, tone, speed, and intensity. This design used a cathodic phase inverter, which is a circuit that was found in the 5E3 Tweed Deluxe and many other amps of the day. However, by the brown face years, the Princeton was the only Fender amp that used the cathodic phase inverter circuit. The brown face Princeton wasn't a new design, but rather a very slightly updated version of the 5F11 Tweed Tremolux. The brown face Princeton has great cleans, but crank it up and it can get nice and crunchy too. That bias wiggle trem, that gives it a nice soft tremolo. Alright, let's take a listen to the 62 Princeton with no extra effects. Here's the default settings with the Telecaster on the neck pickup. Here it is on both pickups. And here it is on the bridge pickup. Now that's just classic. Let's add a little bit of tremolo to it. Let's drop down the volume a hair to clean it up. Let's turn up the tremolo intensity, and let's see what it sounds like at the lowest speed. Let's pick up that speed a little bit. Now let's drop down the intensity some so you just get a little bit. Put them both just right around 3. Now let's turn down the tremolo. Let's crank this bad boy up. Let's turn up the tone just a hair. Put it on the bridge pickup. That's classic. It just sounds fantastic. Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb Blonde NBC. The first Fender Deluxe amp came out in 1948. In 1963, Fender added a spring reverb tank to the redesigned Deluxe, and the Deluxe Reverb was born. It had 22 watts of power and a 12-inch speaker. Controls are volume, treble, bass, reverb, intensity, and speed. In 1965, Fender made a version of the Deluxe Reverb with a cream Tolex covering, and the bright cap was removed, which makes for a more mellow tone. This is without a doubt my favorite amp in the current Tone Master Pro lineup. So let's take a listen to the 65 Deluxe Reverb Blonde with no extra effects. And here's the 65 Deluxe Reverb Blonde at default settings. Both pickups. And bridge pickup. Now, do you want to get all surfy with it? And just to make it even a little bit more surfy, now let's turn down the tremolo. Turn down the reverb back down to around 3. And let's crank this bad boy up and see what we get. And I'm telling you, if you were down in the audience and you were sitting next to that amp, that 22 watts would just tear the top of your head right off. Solo 100 Overdrive. Now we're getting into non-Fender heavy territory. The Solo 100 Overdrive is based on the Soldano SLO 100. Michael Soldano built his first amp, a Fender Bassman clone, with the aid of books discarded by a library. He worked on modifying his version of the Bassman for several years before turning his attention to modifying Mesa Boogie Mark IIs, which served as the inspiration for what became the Super Lead Overdrive 100, which came out in 1987. When it was first released, some of the world's best guitar players couldn't wait to get their hands on one. Eric Clapton and Mark Knopfler bought one straight away. Eddie Van Halen and Lou Reed got one, and Blondie guitar player Tommy Kessler has a snakeskin model in his touring rig. Controls on the Solo 100 Overdrive are gain, master, bass, middle, treble, presence, and depth, which adjusts power amp low frequency response. Let's take a listen to the Solo 100 Overdrive with no extra effects. Here's the Solo 100 Overdrive at default settings. Now, just for the heck of it, let's turn down the gain, turn up the master. Let's see if we can clean it up at all. Look at that. Even with gain down to 0, basically. Apparently this is an amp that wants to be cranked. So let's put that master on 6. Let's put that gain on 6. We have one more new amp in non-Fender heavy territory, and this one is a classic. The Tangerine RV53 is inspired by the orange Reverb 50 Mark III. I know folks will say that Tony Iommi never used an orange amp with Black Sabbath, and that there's only one video that shows him using a borrowed orange amp. Regardless of that, this amp is great for Black Sabbath riffs. And I was surprised that it actually cleans up quite nicely. You can then bump up the gain a little bit to get that classic crunch. Controls on the Tangerine RV53 are gain, volume, treble, middle, and bass. Let's take a listen to the Tangerine RV53 with no extra effects. And now here's the Tangerine RV53 at default settings. But let's see how this thing cleans up. Turn it up just a little bit. Turn it up just a little bit more. But bring that gain up, baby. Drop that master down so you're not really overloading it. But this... I am telling you, Fender really upped their game with these new amp models. Now, I know that John from Sonic Drive Studio had a video where he compared the Solo 100 Overdrive and the Tangerine RV53 to his real amp heads, and it was virtually identical. And in a mix, I could not tell the difference. They are that close. So I'm really happy that Fender concentrated on these 4 amps for this release. Now, I do hope they get around to modeling the 64 Bassman blonde head and some bass amps, but other than that, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty well set. I really can't think of many other amps that I'd really like to have added. I'm pretty much happy with what we have. And if you're still here with me, thank you so much for stopping by and sticking around. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, drop them to me here and I get to them as soon as I possibly can. Now, I'll have all new content this Friday. You don't want to miss that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. All right, guys, have a fantastic 4th of July wherever you are, and I'll be talking with you again on Friday.